Hi, I'm Jenny Seufert, and I'm here to speak to you about teaching your children geography at home. You may have seen on TV, we all have those roving reporters that go around asking people questions, and what you find is that too many youngish people in the United States really think that Africa is a country, not a continent. So the reason for this ignorance, just to give you a little background, dates back to the early 1960s when educators decided that they were no longer going to teach history and geography as separate subjects. They were going to actually teach social studies. And the study of geography, they were just going to give them the tools they need to learn it on their own, no longer talking too much about actual countries or states or regions. And what happened is they would give them an elevation map for the sake of argument, and then show them a country like Switzerland that has lots of mountains, and so they had to read the elevation map. Or they would give them a language map, and that's also Switzerland. They have 4 different languages, so you get to see a language map. And by the time these kids got out of high school, they could read maps and they could read charts and graphs, but very often they couldn't have told you where Switzerland was. Or they didn't really, as I say, realize that Africa was in fact a continent and not a country. Seton Home Study School has decided that we're going to teach real geography. That is information about real locations. And students will still encounter lots of maps and charts and graphs. They will know how to read those. But the emphasis is learning about actual places. And what are we going to learn about? The landforms and the people and the government and the economies. And just a little bit of historical perspective is put in there too. So geography for young Catholics, this is book 7. We also have a book 6, teaches world geography. Book 6 teaches North America, South America, and Europe. Book 7 teaches Africa, Asia, Oceania, which is what some of us call Australia, and Antarctica. So here are some features about these books that you should know. First of all, lots of pretty maps, pictures of interesting people or places, something to hold the kids' attention. Kids like to have their attention held. We study the world by region. So Asia obviously is a pretty darn big region of the world. So we study different regions of Asia. We give them in each lesson words to know. Let's go over here to Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Words to know. They have to know what monarchy and mosaic means. Then we give them some key facts. What is the official name of the country? What is the type of, is it a republic? Is it a monarchy? Type of government? What is the capital? What is the currency that they use in that country? What is the population? Now, population we have to be a little careful with. We'll give you the year that we got the population from, but obviously, if I could tell you the population of Turkey right now at the minute I'm recording this, somebody could die in the next minute or be born in the next minute, so it's wrong. So it's a general amount. And then the primary religion of that nation, if there is one. So you'll get all of that. We also give you a little section, did you know? That's sort of an interesting fact about the country. They're never tested on it or even asked to fill in the blank or do any sort of exercise on it. But it's something that's a little bit interesting that would hopefully hold the kids' attention. Then, of course, this is Seton Home Study School. So you can count on the fact that our books are going to be Catholic. Now, they do, in fact, have a patron or a saint that's associated with them. And in this case, St. Basil the Great, pray for us. We always have, every chapter begins with an invocation, a little short aspiration to a saint of that nation. Asia, St. Francis Xavier, one of the first missionaries to Asia, so is recorded. And then where we can do it, we give, for example, in this book, you'll see the Hagia Sophia, a mosaic from the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, because in fact, Istanbul, when it was Constantinople, was a Catholic city. So finally, each exercise you will see is divided into 2 sections. So this one here, we have Turkey and Saudi Arabia. The kids learn about Turkey. They do a short exercise. Then Saudi Arabia in the same lesson. They learn about that. They do a short exercise about Saudi Arabia. You could do these lessons easily in one sitting. They're not that long or difficult, but we break it up into 2 parts, really to make it easier for you. Maybe you want to break it into 2 days' work or 2 sittings or one's, homework at night or something of that nature. So what we have really tried to do here at Seton Home Study School, besides teaching kids geography, is we want to make it as family and kid friendly as we possibly can.